Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherish is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
You know, battle rap is one thing that a lot of people on this channel are here for. Hip hop is definitely something that I assume we are all here for. But every once in a while, we do have these moments. They don't have to be massive like Kendrick and Drake, but there are moments where we become just as interested in the backstory as we are in the music, as we are in the battle, because that becomes relevant. You know, we start to then pick apart, are these angles true? Is this person real? Is this person fake? Did we believe something different about this person this entire time? It's no different than what happened to Ja Rule, right? Believe it or not, some of the angles and some of the, you know, the shots that 50 Cent was taking at Ja Rule, one thing that he brought into play was his image, his character. You know, even though 50 Cent started singing later on in his career, that's one thing that he used against Ja Rule, right? He tried to paint a picture of him of being soft, of not being who he portrays himself to be, of not being a murderer or, you know, murder INC and all that. So we can't act like this is new. We can't act like the internet isn't on fire like this for no reason. When I see reactions videos like this, look around the internet. They're all doing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, some million plus views, 500,000 views here, 300, 400,000 views there. The story of the facts and the lead up and the angles behind the diss songs, behind the hip hop, is just as compelling now as the actual, you know, rapping of Kendrick and Drake. And they're even using both of those type of things in their artistry, in their videos, in their lyrics. So as we continue to do our research and just ride this whole wave of arguably one of the biggest hip hop moments in rap history, you know, let's continue to dive into some of the backstory. I just keep coming across some very, very interesting content, and we're gonna break some of this down.
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that, and that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl and your girl and your girl because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody's. That is not true. You introduce him to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers. The athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
What is the real issue with you?
Yo, Joe Budden said the tech people. He basically saying that homie has no bounds. All right, so first, you know, reaction there. I am definitely one of those people. I don't always say that from opinions you can automatically create facts, but we all hear the phrase. It's cliche at this point. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You don't have 100 of these stories and they all be false. It's not. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but at that point you just become naive. You know what I'm saying? Like those that know a lot of my backstory, there's things that I spoke about on the RBE side of things for years. And over the years, I showed you so much in blogs or in occurrences and then other people as well. And it's just like, yo, where there's smoke, sometimes there absolutely is fire. You can't just go like, oh, no, coincidence, 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 coincidence. I said how many times before? A million fucking coincidences ain't a coincidence no more, because now you're just asking me to play stupid. And I just refuse to play stupid, you know, and the whole industry, well, I shouldn't say the whole industry, but so many people with these stories. At what point do people say like, damn, like this is really what's happening?
You in marriage. Now I got to dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Since the beginning of his career, Drake's relationship with women has always been at the forefront of his music. Whether his songs were about going through a breakup, occasionally depicting himself as sensitive, or outright portraying himself as a simp, Drake seemed to genuinely admire women. But over time, things drastically changed until the point he morphed into the self-proclaimed certified lover boy. From venting his feelings of loneliness to an ex on Marvin's Room, through to accusations of rampant misogyny on the 21 Savage assisted Her Loss, even Drizzy's claim that the only woman he loves is his mom on God's Plan was a drastic departure from when he was actively trying to settle down. But where the good guy image was once intact and helped skyrocket his career to the top, that's long gone now and replaced with the perception that, as Kendrick said, Drizzy doesn't even like women. In fact, he only values them when it comes to sexual gratification and as a way to have a one-up on his enemies and friends. In short, there's now a belief that Drake has a serious sex addiction, which has basically created the predicament he finds himself in today.
He presents himself.
I want to touch on that for a second too. Damn, yo, this shit is fucking crazy, B. So y'all see the title where it says, "Is this true? Drake's addiction created his rise and his fall." What do I mean by that? Image. I'm somebody that ran the RBE company, being a little bit more worldly as far as what really entertains people. Fans love to vicariously live through these artists. They love to vicariously live through a lot of us. Anybody that's in the public eye, even at a small level, people will vicariously live through you. Social media has figured that out, right? The whole following aspect or concept, I should say. That's what it really is about. The fact that social media also brings you so much closer to some of these celebrities. It's like when you got shows like MTV Cribs, even though some of those motherfuckers, like, it wasn't even really their crib and shit, and it was just a show, but you get closer to these celebrities. People want the stage pass. They want backstage access. They want the autograph. They want to shake your hand. They want to know what kind of car you drive. They want to know what your house looks like. They want to meet the interior decorator. Like it's really, really human nature for some of these fans. Not everybody. Not everybody's like that. But a lot of these fans create that level of success, and it's tied directly to your image. I've always known that when it comes to selling a product, when it comes to putting somebody in front of a camera. I'm a league owner that says, like, to the battle rappers behind the scenes, I'd be like, yo, your battle might do a couple 100,000 views. Make sure you get a shape up. Make sure you get a haircut. You know, if you got, it don't cost a lot to look good, to look like something, to look the part. If you got to go to the corner store and buy your a plain white t-shirt and iron that shit, you good money, but look like something, look the part. The image is just as important as the talent. Unfortunately, the R&B world knows about that, right? What do they say? It's the pretty face that comes along and sings the actual melodies and the songs that somebody else in the corner that wasn't the image and wasn't as sellable wrote for them. And we buy that in R&B because it is the image. The image is just as important as the talent. Sticking in battle rap. Look at Rem. Shout out to Rem and Chrome 23. Don't we see her be paying for like the girls to get their hair and their makeup done and all that before the show, before the bright lights and the cameras turn on? Before the battle rap starts, before the pay-per-view cuts on? Image is everything. Unfortunately, when I know a lot of us are here for the talent, but pay attention to how the real world actually works. So when we tie this into Drake, the lover boy, the ladies man thing or whatever, right? That being a part of his rise is so evident. You look at his shows, you look at his tours, and you see the crowd flooded with women. Even from stuff like this, you'd be surprised how many women will continue to flock to him, thinking that, oh, he's promiscuous, which makes him be available, which means that I still have a chance. That's how some of these fans think. That's why a lot of rappers or a lot of artists, you know, they'll never publicly go out there and say that, you know, they're involved. Now, there is a pocket of Hollywood and entertainment. Oh, I'm in rant mode, y'all. We in mode. I don't just be playing the videos. We build. There's a pocket of Hollywood and understanding of power couples, right? Where they know that certain relationships can be beneficial to your profile and your image. People are saying that Drewski and what's her name? Ruby Rose just did that. They're saying that wasn't real. That was for both of their profiles. On the other hand, you have these power couples where it's just like, yo, it's better for us to just stick together as far as what we look like, opposed to ever part. even if some weird allegations came on later and swinging all that type of shit. But power couples like a Will and a Jada, just the imagery of them prior to all the ugly shit, it was something that helped both of their careers, right? Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm not going to say that they're not really, really in love or nothing like that, but the image of that is important. You see what I'm saying? And image being a part of Drake's success and being the ladies' man guy, it's one of the biggest reasons why he's all the way up there. What do they say? Women buy albums, women buy streams, women buy music. If women buy into you, you're gone. You're gone. I did a stream about a week and a half ago about the hip hop goats. And when I got to LL Cool J, I said he was one of the first kings and possibly the first king ever that covered all bases because he had the image, he had the artistry and the rappability, he had the believability, he had the ladies. You have the ladies, you are out of here. But that can be the same thing that makes somebody like Drake fall. That's why I got this in the title. But let's keep going.
Himself as like this smart, composed, thoughtful businessman. But your friends, girls, you're not them for them, by the way. There's tons of bad. You're not just doing it to get a nut. You're your man. That's what you're doing. It sounds crazy, but that's what it's about. I'm going to do something that I know that I'm going to have over you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Currently operating in a state that may.
That's one thing that kills me too. Y'all hear bro code and all that type of shit. Some people live by it, some don't. Me, I don't keep a huge circle like that. A lot of the people that I rock with, I grew up with. I knew for, like the smallest person in my circle, I probably known for at least 5 years. And then it goes all the way down the line to 20 plus and all that type of shit. And I have like some close friends of mine where I've got to see how we move in those situations when women are around or when women is involved. And you get to say like, yo, this guy tapped me on the shoulder and put me on, like, yo, she's slipping, or yo, she did this, or yo, I'm thinking about this, or whatever. You check in on certain things. Bro code. Hopefully a lot of you men, especially with your closest people or your friends, hopefully you follow it, right? And I think it's elevated and it comes off that much more crazy for somebody like Drake. Because when you're in Drake's shoes, when you have the image of a ladies' man, when you're selling millions and millions of records, when you're the biggest rapper in the world, when you have all this fame and popularity, a dime a dozen doesn't serve justice to what you have access to. It really doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So, men, fellas out here, if you really are tapped in, you know that these beautiful, beautiful women that we see on screen, they're replicated by the thousands out there. If you see Jennifer Lopez on camera, you say, damn, man, she's the baddest ever. Just take a trip to Brazil. You'll see her 1,000,000 times. I kid you not. I kid you not. Whoever you think is the baddest, I don't care if you think it's Nicki. I don't care if you think it's Beyonce. Halle Berry had the crown at a time. Whoever you think is the baddest, you just go to certain places or certain areas and you see them by the hundreds, if not the thousands. That's the reality. That's the real world out there. And Drake has that access. A lot of even average regular day men have that access. You know what I'm saying? Whether they pay for it or whether they just got it like that. So that's what kills me too. When they say there's smoke, there's fire. You got all these situations from Kanye and Kim and the thing with Lil Wayne and his girl while Lil Wayne was locked up, and DJ Drama and all these people. And it's just like, dude, you gotta be having some ill intent because you know these people and you got them by the thousands lined up for you that are just as bad. So I just don't get it, other than just saying it's just foul shit at play.
Fill a void inside him while deviating from the image that first made him successful, Drake has made it clear that he's not a one-woman man at this point in his life, nor does he plan to change that. And while that makes him no different from many other superstars, the problem for the Sixth God is that there's a feeling of spite and self-sabotage to how he goes about it that has nearly destroyed his career several times over. So, let's break down the roots of this addiction and how it's been hiding in plain sight for a long time now. When you pattern yourself as a ladies' man, it's really no surprise that you might ruffle some feathers or act impulsively when things don't go your way. Just look at what happened in the aftermath of Drake flying a fresh-faced Ice Spice out to OVO Fest, only to suddenly cut ties with her when it appeared he didn't get what he wanted out of it.
It's been speculated that Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
He did. I don't know why though.
Shame on you, Drake. Shame on you. You shouldn't have done that.
Happy to ghost someone in an instant, Drake's objectives with up-and-comers like Ice come into focus when you see how much he prides himself on being a bachelor. So, when he doesn't get his way, his superstardom allows him to move in a way without any consequences. And this behavior was further highlighted in an interview with Angie Martinez, where French Montana basically lifted the lid on how Drake operates.
Yes.
There's people with more reputation than me.
Drake is close. So you and Drake are friends.
Splash Bros. Snipe Squad. You know, he gave me the
Splash
Snipe
Bros?
Squad thing. 10 rules, 10 snipe commandments. Thou shalt not snipe a bro's ting. Thou shalt never pillow talk or discuss business with a ting. On any import from the United States, Canada, or any other region, thou shalt practice a maximum 3-day export rule to avoid frustration. If you fly anybody in, give them 3 days so you can avoid frustration. 3 days maximum.
With Drake
Yo. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, French had no business up there reading that shit. As if he's like, all right, this is the 10 commandments that Drake fucking texts me about how we moving with these chicks. Rule number 4, if you fly a chick in, she can't stay in America with you longer than 3 days to avoid frustration. Yo, French, what are you doing? And it's bugged out because it's like, today, not when obviously when that dropped. Look, French didn't even have braids when that shit dropped. But today, when you watch that shit, like people's gonna be thinking about like the container scenes and whatnot in the Not Like Us video. That's what's so bugged out about these videos that's doing all these hundreds of thousands of views on the internet. And I've done that in my past a lot as well. Because what happens is when you have your one-off occurrences, right, in whatever space that you're in, they'll come, they'll go. They'll come, they'll go. People don't always put these puzzles together. When you take all this stuff and you create a collective, lawyers do the same thing. When you take all, I'll say evidence. When you take all the evidence and you put it together as a collective and then you present it, it hits tougher. It just hits so much tougher. So videos like this, it's like I've never seen this. And let's be clear, this is only happening because it's one of the biggest rappers ever, because it's Drake. Sorry, it's true. Let's keep it real. To his credit and defense, right? Because the internet is so on fire and there's billions and billions of views about this shit now going around about Drake. If this was anybody else, then it wouldn't be this hysteria, right? But that's just the world that we live in. Like, you know, like people have sex scandals every day, B. But when it's Bill Clinton, you know what I'm saying, it's worldly news, and Monica Lewinsky gets to write books and becomes famous off of it for a lifetime, right? You know, people wild out allegedly because he was found innocent, but people wild out allegedly over their girls or exes or wives every day, B. But when it's O.J. Simpson, national news. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it fucking goes. People get into little disputes in elevators every day, B. But when it's Solange and Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? So part of this is because it's Drake. Give the man his credit, and let's be real, sorry, it's true. But it's just so amplified. It's just impossible to ignore. I've just never seen no shit like this. We thought Cat Williams sold the year up soon as it started. We may never get a news like this again. Run like this again from hip hop. This shit is big.
Basically retaining the mindset of a man in his 20s, it explains why Drizzy also doesn't care whose toes he steps on, including sniping someone else's team. Take, for instance, the story of Naomi Sharon. Unlike Ice Spice, it's believed that she welcomed Drake's advances despite being in an 8-year relationship. To make matters worse, Drake had worked out with her then-boyfriend just days before, only to later post an IG picture after the story broke captioned, "Without remorse." Dirty. Imagine having the most beautiful, supportive, and faithful relationship 8 years long with an engagement and wedding plan, her former fiance, Jamie Sun, said. Then this major opportunity comes and a world star calls your fiance to sign a record deal, flies you both over, and then, out of nowhere, all the trust has vanished with knives in your back and in your heart. I am no longer with the person people think I am together with. I am no longer with the 8 years I thought I was together with. With someone like Jamie participating in the music industry at a lower level, Drake clearly had no concerns when it came to trampling over his life to get what he wanted. But even though he got away with just a bit of reputational damage that time, recently, it's become clear that Drake's promise to French Montana about never getting involved with someone else's girl was just talk. Because when you look...
So once again, sorry, it's true. I'm always gonna be fair. Both y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like I could look at both. I could be like Drake. Once again, what are you doing? Is that the homie or not? Like bro code. What the fuck is going on? But as far as the dude, you kind of owe Drake a thank you. Like he shows you who the fuck you was really with too. So I guess you could look at it from both ways. Like I would never be scared to leave my woman in a room with any celebrity, and that doesn't mean that it can't go down. Almost any, I shouldn't say, I don't want to come across like this, ladies, what I'm saying, as if you guys are objects, but a lot of women can be had under the right circumstances. Not all. Okay. Some of y'all are going to hold it down, but a lot of women can be had under the right circumstances. They have their personal preferences. Let's say the man that she's with right now, married to, in her eyes, is a 9 out of 10. If she crosses paths with the 10 out of 10, becomes an overnight soulmate, connects with her in a way that her current man don't, fucks her up and down the fucking hallway the way that her man don't, can provide for her in a way that her man don't, or could give her more than her current man does. You never know if she's going to be intrigued. You never know if she's going to be able to turn away from her current man. Many women, and the same thing goes for ladies, to be fair. The same can go for men. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, not out of some cocky shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind leaving my woman alone, in a room with a man, because first of all, I trust the people around me. You know what I'm saying? But outside of the people that I trust, like let's say I was associates with Drake, right? I wouldn't think that he owes me anything. He's just my associate. I didn't grow up with him. He's not my brother or whatever. We just happen to be in the same place or know each other through entertainment or through some form of business, maybe, right? If I left my woman in a fucking room with him and my woman was had, I'd look at him like, all right, well, whatever. I guess it is what it is. You don't really owe me that. And I would look at her like, thank God you was exposed. You know what I'm saying? So Hobie, in that case, damn near owes Drake a fucking thank you. But damn, once again, you have a million women at your disposal.
Back, Drake has a habit of bringing women into almost all of his beefs with other rappers. And in the view of one of his biggest supporters and academics, this is where Drake has been a habitual line crosser.
I keep asking people and they're like, yo, listen, man, Drake's a little sloppy with it. All these guys, they share the same crop of girls. It's a thin line between like, yo, these are like the community chicks that we all, and yo, you're doing certain to kind of like disrespect.
In Axe View, this has always been a key part of how Drake has operated, long before it led Future to call him a fan on We Don't Trust You. Case in point, just look at why his decade-long feud with CB started.
Imagine how bold Drake was when Drake sends a bottle over there with a note that says, I'm the love of your life. That was supposedly the note. And right then, beef starts. So Drake is in the club, supposedly with Meek and some other people, and Chris Brown is there, and Drake sends a thing over to be like, I'm the love of your life.
Drake is a savage.
Yeah, you got to keep the girl away from Drake.
Back when Drake and Chris had some bad blood over Rihanna, the whole thing likely made things awkward at parties, but didn't.
I ain't gonna lie, so that's crazy. I mean, if you consider Chris your enemy at that time, if that is true, then I guess it is what it is. At least, the woman that, they allegedly had beef over isn't looked at as some community ass. Like, we're talking about Rihanna, you know what I'm saying? A woman that a lot of men would love to be with. So, maybe I was at least beefing over a quality ass catch. You know what I'm saying? But damn, if you're in the club and you set that over there, I'm fucking the woman of your dreams. Yo. It's just like, dude.
Didn't really spill out onto record or really even enter the public consciousness at the time. But that hasn't always been the case. And much like his dispute over Princess Diana with Future, it was his decision to mess with other people's girls that led his ghostwriting scandal with Quentin Miller to come to light in the first place. In turn, creating a narrative that's haunted him ever since.
That's how the whole thing started with even the reference tracks. DJ Drama says, bro, he didn't write that. The guy in my studio in Atlanta, he recorded it and Drake just sang it over. That's how that starts. So two guys who thought Drake their chicks basically created that moment.
But while all of these incidents could have been damaging to his career, if you need to look at how...
That's another thing too. When we talk about like, dude, you got them all at your disposal. A dime a dozen doesn't even serve justice to what you have access to. You also got to look at it like that too. You're a megastar. So if you're playing, if you're shitting in the same place where you lay your head, meaning that you're doing dirt within your community or your circle of friends that have access to you, that know when you're in the studio, that know whether you're recording it or who wrote it or who gave you this type of reference track or whatever. Like, why even shit in the same place that you lay your head in that respect, right? That to me becomes stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and forget the fucking, oh, who knows the way I create music or has a little bit of information on me. How about just from a hustle or a business standpoint? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say Future, they just gave that example. Future is one of the biggest rappers in the game. I make a lot of money with Future. I make a lot of hit songs with Future. I can do tours with Future. Why the fuck would I play around with, even if I don't give a fuck about him, and if I really, really, why would I play with that type of money or that type of business relationship? So it's just all these aspects of weakness. If these things are true, that we'd have no choice but to say that's weak. You stepped on your own business. You stepped on your own, what French said, your own principles and morals or your codes. You stepped on your own nuts. You know what I'm saying? You stepped on your friend. Like, it's just those are examples of weakness. And I'll never forget. I'm not saying this about Drake. I'm just saying this about if the shoe fits, wear it. I will never forget when Fab and Ray J got into it, right? And remember that classic interview that Ray J gave when he called in, what was it, to the Breakfast Club, and he spazzed out. I'm gonna get niggas that rape niggas. They go to Fab, and then Fab came into his own interview. Said, whoa, nobody is doing that to me. Nobody punched me. I held up little Ray J like this. You know what I'm saying? I said, calm down, little Red Rider. Y'all remember all that? As a clout. Matter of fact, when this stream is over, I'm gonna go play it just for my own entertainment. But a classic quote came out of that when Fab said, yo, we're at a time now, I don't care how much money you got. If you lame, you lame. You just a lame with money. You a cornball. I don't care. And I'm not saying Ray J is a lame or Ray J is corny. I'm just talking about under the circumstances of those interviews, because those interviews made Ray J look crazy. And Fab's, response to that, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. If you lame, you lame. Right? So it's like, yo, dude, like if you have all these weaknesses, money and fame and success and what you achieved is not going to cover them up to real men and to real women. Real men and real women are never going to be jaded. They're not going to care about your 100,000 square foot crib and your billions of dollars worth of cars and your millions and millions of dollars worth of jewelry. They're not jaded. They have confidence to say, like, you have a million times more than I have. I don't give a fuck. You're the lame. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That's how people that aren't jaded are. So these weaknesses, if they're there, then it's just sorry it's true. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Far Drake will push it when it comes to women, look no further than him betraying his very own mentor when he was at his lowest. A story that was brought to light in a bar by Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. The allegations that Drake on Wayne's girl when he was in jail have actually been around for a while. And to Weezy's credit, he's done his best to shoot Drake some bail.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. That's just how life goes when you locked up. She still be texting me and stuff,
However, this is only one side of the real story that never gets reported, because as Weezy disclosed in his autobiography, this actually took a real toll on him. As a man, he wrote, I woke up still feeling messed up about the f***ed up day that I had. Hell is what it was. I'm used to arguing with my girl on a daily basis, but finding out that she'd messed with Drake was the absolute worst thing I could have found out. Seemingly happy to backstab one of the people who had done the most for his career, this would point to the sheer depths of Drake's issues when it comes to his addiction. But as for how Drake's addiction manifested in the first place...
See that right there, that one, that's an old one. I mean, we've known about that for a long time. Kendrick Lamar did not break that news and Not Like Us. We've known that forever. And he's right. This video right here, that Lil Wayne shot Drake and out publicly. Like, if Lil Wayne does that interview right there and he says the opposite, like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of the reasons for his success. I put him on. I mentored him. I brought him in, you know what I'm saying? And, like, he did that. Like, I just don't, it fucked me up. If Lil Wayne would have said that story would have been real bad. It would have been real bad. Now, maybe those two guys did the whole bros over hoes thing and all that. And that's totally cool because Lil Wayne has the same level of access that Drake has when it comes to your pickings, right? So I'm pretty sure it's not that hard for Lil Wayne to get over, especially when Lil Wayne raps about him having 1 million women and all that type of shit his damn self. But the piece of that that obviously kills everybody is just the morality of shit. It's not like we're both here and we're both doing our thing. And one day after a show, your girl is around me and then she just threw herself on me and I took it down and I called you and said, yo, by the way, your shorty ain't really your shorty, man. She just threw herself on me. You know what I'm saying? Last night. No, it happened while Lil Wayne was in jail, right? People that claim to uphold certain codes or whatever, right? They have a certain respect for when people are down. They try not to wish jail on anybody, right? Even their worst enemy. Here you go with your mentor in one of the worst positions you could be in, jail. Anybody that's in this chat, anybody that watches this video, if you know what it's like to lose your freedom, even if it's for a quick weekend, even if for a week, a month, you know what I'm saying? People that serve years. Lil Wayne did more time than a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like losing your freedom is one of the closest things to hell, in certain conditions. You know what I mean? Like some of these people, they be in jail and they live decent, but jail could never be great. I don't give a fuck what jail it is. Jail could never be great. And under those circumstances, something like that happens. Like, once again, that's just weak morality and weak principles.
There's a couple of theories, but both boil down to the same thing. It's his way of getting back at the tough times in his youth, or proving everyone wrong who doubted that a suburban Jewish kid from Toronto could make it big in hip-hop. And during an in-depth conversation...
Stop. My bad, y'all. I gotta touch on that one for 1 second, too. The possible hypothesis of somebody's mentality of like, oh, you guys never thought that the young Jew guy could make it to the top, or the young Toronto kid from Toronto or Canada or whatever the case may be. Now, of course, none of this is proven. None of this we can just interpret as automatic fact. It's just assumptions. It's people reading these circumstances, trying to put one and one together and trying to create two. I'm not trying to say that it's all not creating smoke. It definitely is. But here's the thing. I never understood the whole payback for these guys that are allegedly already popping or have always been popping, right? Mike Jones, classic song, timeless song. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. I never understood why rappers would even rap that. Like, even if it's true, right? When it's time to record music and live in a certain image, why are you admitting to everybody that you wasn't shit back then or until you had money? Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. You're dissing yourself. Nobody looks at it like that. Drake has done that too in his music. I don't remember the exact line, but it was something like, might have to go back to my old high school and make an appearance, make everybody have to go through security clearance or some shit like that. But he was alluding to the same type of thing like Mike Jones. And to me, anytime I hear rappers rap like that, say that type of shit, it literally tells me, okay, you wasn't shit until you had fame or money. I can't relate. I wasn't rich as a teenager, but we was popping. Our jerseys is hung up in that school. If you know me growing up, you know I ain't lying. And it was a bunch of us. We put on. You know what I'm saying? I can't look back at my past and be like, damn, I used to be a lame, or damn, like they wasn't on me, or damn, we was dirty as shit. No. So anytime I see rappers take that position, maybe it is payback season for some of them. Maybe they do get their money, get their bag, get their fame, and they be like, oh, now I'm putting cases on all you bitches, right? Maybe it really do be that. Damn, son. The shoe fits. Then sorry, it's true.
On the Joe Budden podcast, they weighed in on how people's perceptions of him influenced his tendency to forget his loyalties and go after women who should be off limits.
Let's have a real conversation about how talk about Drake behind the scenes and how people in the industry talk about Drake and how they view him. View Drake like he's a corny who grew up not getting no and now he got money and now he's able to afford that, right?
Left with a deficit he's now trying to make up for, this explains some of the recklessness in how Drake pursues women. Because for him, it's personal and a way to further assert his place at the top.
Bottom line is, most of these in the industry that have grown up a certain way don't like that this moves in the fashion he moved because they never had a respect for him.
You just said that a lot of the industry do that. A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody's. That is not true. You introduce them to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers.
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers. The athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
The difference is you might be more comfortable being way more vocal about that you never respected than the other.
While Joe Budden thinks that this is all about how he's been treated in the game and is now trying to get back, others feel it goes deeper than just rap. According to Nadeska and Ebro, it goes back to how he's been treated by the world as a whole, not just the industry. Because when the world has looked down on him or made him a figure of sad boy memes, being the guy who could steal your girl in a moment's notice is his way of proving himself as the star he always saw himself as.
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that. And that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl, and you're a girl, and you're a girl, because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
Due to social media and people listing all of the people, it was like a list of 40 people that Drake either has problems or has had problems with. Right. The women, the men, the women have decided to be with. At a certain point, you start going, wait, it can't be everybody else, bro.
But above all, it's not just Drake's obvious over-reliance on sex that's the issue, nor even his ruthless backstabbing of his enemies. The real problem is how his behavior and personal circumstances have shaped a negative attitude towards women that threatens to be his downfall. Because from...
Hey, Buddha the MC says, every Meek verse is a rags to riches. I wasn't ish, now I'm rich type of stuff. I agree. Meek does have a lot of that. I just want to make sure that I'm clearing up or clarifying my perspective as it relates to this video. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with rags to riches rap or lyrics or storylines. You know what I'm saying? Shit, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying is one of the biggest, most successful storylines in hip hop history. A lot of rappers have garnered success and put themselves out there as far as coming from nothing and then making something of themselves. Eminem is another one of them, right? 8 Mile tries to depict that. You know what I'm saying? Just some trailer guy that, you know what I'm saying, is just trying to make his way in a certain type of, you know, environment and happens to be good at rap. And, you know what I'm saying, goes through all these trials and tribulations. That's not what I was making a point on. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on that, Buddha. What I'm making a point on is the people that are like payback season. Okay. And especially when it comes to this topic as it relates to women. Okay, because when Mike Jones says back then they didn't want me, he's not talking about men. He's talking about women. They didn't want me. You don't. I assume. I don't want to say. I don't want to say hope. I don't want to offend nobody. I assume he's not talking about. Damn, I used to want the men to want me. No, he's talking about women. You know what I'm saying? So the payback season shit. You know what I mean? And that's like the type of shit that we see Drake rap about, or certain rappers rap about. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you telling on yourself? Not the rags to riches shit. That's not the point. I'm talking about when you're saying that people didn't fuck with me. Not that you didn't have anything, because a lot of us were broke as kids and teenagers. I didn't have much, but people fucked with me. Just like I fucked with a lot of people that didn't have shit and was broke too. So I just want to create that differentiation there. All right. But now I appreciate the comment.
Pusha T to Kendrick Lamar, every time that he's been forced to take an L in a battle is when he comes at someone's spouse or fiance. And in Pusha's view, this goes all the way back to the trials and tribulations of his youth.
Now I got to dig deeper. What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I got to dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. He never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Left without a strong role model and instead given a father who's still chasing girls himself to this day in a slightly creepy way, it explains why Drake thinks nothing of getting involved with someone else's girl, nor discrediting.
What's this comment right here mean? Get back is our payback. Al US or whatever with the Drake default picture. Shout out to the Black Zionists. I don't know what that means, but listen, we welcome all. We welcome fans from everybody. I'm a Drake fan too. Fans of everybody, welcome. I think this might be the first time I've seen his default picture, but you are welcome, sir.
Being someone else's wife. While for someone like Pusha, Kendrick, or even A$AP Rocky, who adopted the Drizzy beef after lines about his wife from For All the Dogs, this wouldn't be an option. in turn creating the sense that Drake may have plenty of relationships with women, but doesn't ultimately respect them. Left embarrassed by his own actions and with his peers now calling him out, Drake's gotten a serious wake-up call to change his ways. Because if he doesn't, this addiction might destroy his career, his legacy, and maybe even his life.
Damn.
You're doing
So to say Drake's legacy, I think we're already beyond that. I think his legacy is absolutely already impacted in a negative way. I didn't see that coming. I said that multiple streams, but we're already past that point. You know what I'm saying? So drop a comment when we say, is this true? Drake's addiction created his rise and his fall, right? It's tied to the biggest angle that has come out of Kendrick's diss songs, the biggest song that has come out of his shit, and what now becomes a hip hop staple and pinnacle moment in hip hop history. Not Like Us, right? You got sorry, it's true. We got to be real about what Not Like Us is. It's massive. It's one of the biggest songs that we've seen in a long time. And once again, one of the biggest narratives in it is trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. And any pedo allegations, right, or grooming allegations are tied to sexual behavior, which once again ties to this title. So if that's an addiction, whether young, old, my friends, girls, or whatever the case may be, you know, is the same thing that put him, or one of the big ingredients that put him at the forefront, the same thing that's hurting his legacy and creating what we're watching as his decline, right? From graces. He definitely isn't sitting in the chair no more, right? Kendrick is sitting there. Can Drake ever sit there again? Why not? I'm sure, you know, everybody loves a good comeback story, a good revenge story. If he can clean up his image, and if he could, you know, make certain moves. We had a prior stream where I broke down what I think Drake's best next move would be. But hey, who the hell am I? I'm not an A&R. You know what I'm saying? But we're all going to be here to watch it play out. But yeah, if these are the things that have hurt Drake the most, true or not, I think it's hard to contest that, yeah, the same things that have helped him get to the top are the things that are bringing him down from graces, right? So drop a comment. Let me know how you feel about that. I do see the tweet still saying ARP do the 616 breakdown. Shout out to what's the dirt on that as well. The only thing about that video is it's an hour long. So if I do it, I'll probably maybe do it Friday night or something like that, when I don't gotta get up too early and get on my job too early or nothing like that. Maybe Sunday, maybe Saturday, I don't know. But that will be a very, very long stream. Once again, keep the comments rolling below if you want to see me do the 616 reaction, because that's a beautiful video, man. That is a wicked video. So once again, shout out to What's the Dirt. We're just going back and forth on Twitter. I might do that for y'all ASAP, but stay tuned. Another interesting breakdown, another interesting video. These videos are popping up out of massives, and when I see interesting ones, we're going to react to them and keep them coming my way too. Send them to me on Twitter, DM them to me on IG. Thank you for everybody that's keeping me in the loop. But this story, once again, has become just as compelling as the actual songs. It just is what it is.